brother. In fiction, nothing gets the narrative juices flowing quite like the words, "I'm pregnant." It's a storytelling powder keg, instantly raising the stakes, flipping relationships, and throwing characters into full-blown panic. There's love, betrayal, secret affairs, and usually at least one dramatic slap. Possibilities are endless. Unless, of course, we're talking about professional wrestling. Because pregnancy, tends to result in a baby. And I ain't putting over no baby. They haven't paid their dues, brother. Sorry. In wrestling, pregnancy never leads to a baby. It only leads to one thing: disappointment. I'm Senior Siete for 7 Wrestling. Let's take a look at 7 wrestling pregnancy storylines with stupid endings. Now, before we get into that, we appreciate your support, so if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and give a baba to the notification bell. Number 1. None in the Oven. In early 2002, the McMahon-Helmsley regime was starting to show some cracks. Triple H returned from his injury looking like a human protein shake and was riding a wave of babyface momentum, while Stephanie was still channeling Cruella de Vil with a business degree. Sensing that her man might be slipping away, Stephanie did what any loving, supporting wife would do. She lied about being pregnant. Classic relationship fixer. Now naturally, Triple H reacted like someone just told him that jean vests were half price. He was giddy, but instead of raising some eyebrows and maybe a DNA test, he leaned into it. Stephanie used the baby news to convince him to renew their wedding vows on live TV. But this wasn't about love. Oh, no, this was about control. Steph thought she could trap the game into eternal kayfabe matrimony with a storyline baby. Unfortunately for her, Triple H discovered the truth from Linda McMahon before the ceremony, and in true Attitude Era hangover fashion, he waited until the middle of the vow renewal to call her out in front of the entire arena. The crowd went wild, Stephanie's face melted faster than somebody who casually opened the Ark of the Covenant, called her a no-good manipulative schemer, dropped her dad with a pedigree, gave her a pie face, which was, standard 2002 conflict resolution, and stormed off to build momentum for his WrestleMania match with Chris Jericho. Oh yeah! All of this was to build heat for a match for the unified title at WrestleMania. Oh, how soon we forget. Fortunately, this would be the last time they'd use this trope, where a woman traps a man with a fake prick. Number 2. Rusev Father's Day. Alright folks, buckle up, because this one is dumber than that thing where a group of wrestlers stand around and wait for someone to jump on them. Let's set the scene. It's late 2019, the WWE is deep in its let's see how far we can test audience loyalty before they storm the Performance Center with pitchforks phase. You've got Lana, previously ravishing Russian Cold War Barbie, who has ditched her real-life husband Rusev and taken up with Bobby Lashley. The feud, and I use that word loosely, quickly turned into a daytime soap opera, complete with bad acting, fake making out, dumb twists, and Rusev being beaten up at every opportunity. Then came the thing de resistance. Lana announced she was pregnant, but alas, the math works out so that the baby could only be of Bulgarian descent. That's right, Bobby Lashley's girlfriend was pregnant with Rusev's baby. Ha ha ha, what a twist! Oh, or neither, because in classic WWE logic, this was actually a lie to mess with Rusev's head. Apparently, the creative team confused emotional manipulation with coherent storyline progression. Number 3. Who's Your Daddy? Oh, still in 2019. Well, the WWE looked at Maria Kanellis, real-life wrestler, real-life pregnant, and said, hey, what if we turn this miracle of life into a humiliation kink storyline for your husband? Maria walks out on Raw, drops the bomb, she's pregnant. Great news, right? Except WWE books Mike Kanellis to react like he just got the joke. No celebration, no joy, just immediate regret and visible testosterone loss. From there, Maria goes full Bond villain. She tells Mike he's not man enough to be the father, questions if he can even get her pregnant in the first place, and at one point says she should have let Becky Lynch do the honors. Wow, and as if all that wasn't bad enough, this was immediately followed up by Becky tapping Mike out. What the heck? Did this dude poop at Vince's steak wrap or something? Then WWE, realizing they had no idea where this was going, started hurling men at the angle like darts at a panic board. Ricochet, maybe he's the father. He'd find out at a gender reveal party, which Montez Ford is hosting. This was 6 years ago. The Street Profits have been on the roster for that long. Oh, my guy Montez needs a single run today. Sorry, that's way off topic. Let's see, Rusev was announced as a father candidate too, which, my goodness, who didn't he fake impregnate in 2019? At this point, Maria's carrying Schrodinger's baby, simultaneously everyone's and no one's. There's no paternity test, no follow-up, no logic, just Maria verbally insemination shaming her husband every week while Mike just kind of stares into the middle distance like he's trying to astral project his way out of this angle. And then nothing. Storyline vanishes. Maria goes on maternity leave, Mike disappears, WWE just acts like it never happened. No payoff, no father reveal, no dramatic twist. Just a storyline so pointless, it made Hornswoggle being Vince's son look like Emmy bait. Number 4, Kelly pregnant. Remember 2010, the year WWE was desperately trying to be PG, but also still kinda edgy, mainstream, and it just ended up being unwatchably weird? Enter Jerry Springer, the man, the myth, the daytime TV king of shouting matches and DNA tests, strutted into the WWE universe like a proud uncle at Thanksgiving ready to instigate a fight over cranberry sauce. WWE didn't book him to call a match or promote a storyline. No. They gave him a full-on Jerry Springer show segment live on Raw, special edition of the WWE's most shocking confessions. One by one, the superstars trotted out onto the stage to unload their shocking truths. Kelly came out and dropped a bomb saying she was pregnant. She also said the father could be a wide variety of WWE superstars. Okay, add your own jokes there. Let's look at the suspects. We had Santino Marella, the Masterpiece Chris Masters, Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler. Yeah, in your dreams, Lawler. The segment somehow combined the worst parts of Springer's show and a bad improv class. Accusations flew, people yelled, and I'll give you 107 wrestling points if you can guess who the father is. Also, 7 wrestling points have no monetary value. That's right, it was their go-to punchline, and I hinted about it in the last category. Father was Hornswoggle. LOL. Just when the tension had reached a boiling point with the audience wondering if Kelly was about to reveal a secret babyface baby, they revealed it was all a joke that they were playing on Springer. A joke. The whole thing. And to wrap it up, they went to their other non-Hornswoggle punchline, Mae Young. She came out and made out with Springer. Oh, good. I'm certainly glad we spent 15 minutes of our wrestling show with no wrestling and the skit that didn't advance any wrestling stories. Number 5, Stacy's a Mom. The year was 2000, NSYNC ruled the charts, AOL still mattered, and WCW was busy speedrunning its own death. And somewhere amid the chaos, someone in the writer's room, likely wearing a Giants jersey and shouting, "Swerve, bro," decided what WCW really needed was a long-running pregnancy angle starring Stacy Keebler, David Flair, and Zero Logic. Let's rewind to the New Blood Rising pay-per-view. Stacy Keebler, then known as Miss Hancock, was wrestling Major Guns in a mud ROTC match, which, to be clear, ROTC stood for Rip Off the Camouflage. Ha 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 ha! Brilliant. Yes, it was basically a bra and panties match with swamp vibes. During the match, Guns kicks Hancock in the stomach, and suddenly things get very serious. Hancock clutches her abdomen, cries in agony, and is stretchered out. Then Stacy Keebler dramatically reveals that she is pregnant. Congratulations, it's a plot device. Then we fast forward to a wedding in Charlotte where Stacy tells David he is not the father in front of everyone. Eat your heart out, Maury. Over the next few weeks, David Flair becomes a DNA detective. He accuses Buff Bagwell of being the father, which leads to a DNA first blood match, because nothing says responsible paternity like trying to beat blood out of someone with a steel chair. David collects Buff's blood with a Q-tip and hands it to doctors, who probably moonlight as ring crew. Results come back in 24 hours, not how that works, and Buff is not the father, so we're back to square one. Jeff Jarrett steps up next and claims that he's the daddy, but he quickly admits he made it up too. And then nothing for months, until March 2001, when Stacy returns with Shawn Stasiak in a baby stroller, and she's not pregnant because she claims that Shawn is her baby. Oh, baby, like a term of endearment. Well, that's certainly unique. Maybe the most amazing thing in all of this is the fact that Vince Russo managed to show enough restraint to not have the father be Stacy's future father-in-law, Ric Flair. Number 6, it's not his fault. In 2004, the WWE decided that what the most popular woman on their roster really needed in her career wasn't title gold or great matches or even a compelling babyface run. No, what she needed was to be pregnant with Kane's demon spawn after being forced to marry him. Before we get too deep into this, know that the Kane-Lita angle, for my money, is one of the worst angles in company history from top to bottom. Here's the setup. Lita's caught in a weird love triangle with Kane and Matt Hardy, except it's not really a triangle, it's more Kane decides he wants to be a father and for some reason comes to the conclusion that Lita should be the mother. Kane terrorizes Matt and then Lita basically goes, "Fine, you can impregnate me, just please stop beating up my boyfriend." Now, I'm frequently accused of exaggerating for comedic effect, and honestly, guilty as charged on that one. But what I just said about Lita was pretty accurate. So Lita marries Kane in a black dress while she's carrying his baby, then it gets even dumber. Foot enthusiast Gene Snitsky has a match with Kane. During the brawl, Lita gets knocked out and loses the baby on live television in the middle of a wrestling match. And how does Snitsky respond? By standing over the wreckage and bellowing, "It's not my fault," which instantly, turns him into some kind of twisted meme lord. Then the storyline just gets weirder from there. Lita teams up with the man who had been terrorizing her and forcing her to carry a spawn. Snitsky gets a short push and a lifetime of awkward fan interactions, and Lita, who'd been put through storyline hell, somehow ends up a villain a year later when she's busted fooling around with Edge in real life. So let's recap. Lita was forced into marriage, she was forced to get pregnant with Kane's baby, she lost the baby because Gene Snitsky knocked its little soul out of her uterus, and WWE played it all up for storyline heat. Jim Cornette put this in perspective where he said that, real people have gone through this kind of trauma, so why would you make this an angle? All it's going to do is upset them and cause them to turn off the TV. And I agree to an extent. Not that you can't have controversial or emotional or even tragic storylines, but as we've shown in this video, these pregnancy angles only lead to disappointment. Never an actual birth. Well, except for number 7, give them a hand. Alright, I know we can't possibly do this topic without Mae Young, so let's just make it quick. The year 2000, a golden age of chair shots to the head and crotch-based offense, WWE took a break from setting people on fire to bring you romance. Enter Mark Henry, aka Sexual Chocolate, a man so smooth he once seduced Chyna and Sammy in the same storyline. His next conquest, the 77-year-old firecracker, Mae Young. Mae, a wrestling trailblazer with zero shame, was portrayed as completely and enthusiastically down for Mark's world's strongest slam. Then she announced she was pregnant, and because WWE has never met a gross-out punchline it didn't like, they played the whole thing straight, like we were really going to meet this beautiful miracle child. Fans waited with a mixture of curiosity, horror, and morbid fascination. Then it happened. Mae Young went into labor on live TV, and after all the yelling and writhing and cigar smoking, out popped a slimy rubber hand. Not a baby with a hand, not a baby hand, just a full-sized adult goopy hand. No explanation, no follow-up, just stunned silence from the audience. During an episode of the Broken Skull Sessions, Mark Henry would explain what he was told when he asked why it was a hand. I'm asking Vince, Vince, why a hand? And he goes, "It's a hand," and just laughs this evil, hysterical laugh. And I say to this day, Steve, don't get why a hand. Yeah, that tracks. And in true WWE fashion, it was never acknowledged again until 2012 when Hand Baby returned all grown up to hug his mother during a Raw 1000 gag. So out of all of these horrific pregnancy angles, one actually did result in an offspring. Closure? Kind of. Nightmare fuel? Absolutely. Well, there's our list. Did I leave out any other wrestling pregnancy storylines with stupid endings? If so, please leave them in the comments section below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and rude awakening that notification bell. Until next time, I'm Senor Siete for 7 Wrestling saying bye-bye.